Joining me now from Capitol Hill, Congressman Mike McCaul. He's chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, a Republican from Texas, and out with a new book called Failures of Imagination, the Deadliest Threats to Our Homeland and How to Thwart Them. Congressman, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks for having me.
So the Director of National Intelligence is saying that ISIS is determined to attack the United States in 2016. Last year, of course, we saw terrorist attacks in Chattanooga, Tennessee, San Bernardino, California. You get daily intelligence briefings. What type of attacks are officials most worried about?
I think an active shooter type attack like what we saw in Paris. I think attack on military installations, police officers. They send a lot of internet traffic into the United States, really with two messages. One, come to Syria and join the fight, or if you can't do that, then attack and kill where you are. That's the one that impacts the homeland, in addition to the foreign fighters who have traveled to the region and have come back to the United States.
Is there anything new that officials are doing to combat this threat?
Well, what we're trying to do is get the administration not only to come up with a military strategy, obviously to deal with ISIS where it exists at its root cause, but also to deal with this phenomenon over social media and on the internet, and what can be a counter narrative to that message. And what we've seen actually from companies like Google recently have come out with ads that pop up if you type in jihadist websites, which is a positive thing. Twitter has now shut down about 125,000 Twitter accounts because that's what the ISIS cyber commanders use to radicalize from within the United States.
In your book, you describe a number of potential terrorist scenarios, ones that really concern you. In one case, you explore what if terrorists hacked the U.S. power grid. Do you ever get concerned that a book like this might give terrorists more ideas, or is this just, you're just going where the terrorists are already talking?
Well, we did a fictional scenario in each chapter to get the interest of the reader, but in each chapter we say, could this really happen? And that's the important educational piece for the American public, that they've actively either tried to do this or they're actively plotting it. And so they've already thought of all these. It's an open source document, obviously. And what I'm trying to do is educate not only the American people, but policymakers as to what the true nature of the threat is, and then also importantly, what can we do to stop it?
President Obama unveiled his 2017 budget proposal. You're very critical on the spending, or lack of spending, you say, on national security. What's an area that could use a boost in funding?
Well, I think obviously FBI and Homeland defending the homeland. We stopped a lot of bad things, 82 ISIS-related arrests, more than one per week. But I think this countering violent extremism issue is not being addressed as a priority within the administration. It's something that I've been trying to work with the Secretary, Jay Johnson, to strengthen up our ability to counter their ability to use the internet and really prey on young military-age males in the United States. We can do a far better job than we're doing. We don't really have a counter-narrative right now, and I think we ought to be focused on that.
All right, the book, Failures of Imagination. Congressman Mike McCaul, thanks so much.
Jake, thanks for having me.